Hello and welcome back to Heroes of the Mist, an actual play Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st Edition homebrew Worlds of Beru multiverse campaign, and an opportunity to donate to the 501c3 nonprofit RPG Research to help further studies on the effects of all role-playing game formats and their potential to help improve lives. So we're here with the adventurers, our intrepid adventurers. They're now traveling north up the Great East Road in the foothills of the Dragonspine Mountains on their right. It is a beautiful, crisp, clear, late October day. It was around noon when we paused for everybody to take a break. You were doing your lunch thing, and we did a quick 10-minute break. And we will continue from there. So while you guys park for a brief bit to eat your victuals and stretch your legs and let your horses graze a little and such, there is a fair amount of grass here, so if you want to save on your horse rations, you know, it's fall grass, it's going into winter grass, but there is still good grass here that they can enjoy. You might want to take the bits out briefly and such, but while you guys are grazing, you see far in the distance still that little column of smoke off of the, just near the edge of the horizon, but you can kind of see where you think Kasarnik was. It's kind of spread out more, but it's, tiny, far to the south.
No more light, though, from the fire?
Well, it's daytime.
Well, yeah, but we could see it in the daytime at first, but...
Yeah, but that was many miles ago. Yeah, at this point, it's just a little puff of smoke. Yeah, that you can see far, far to the south. However, you guys are kind of sitting there, and you're eating your victuals and just kind of stretching a little. And it doesn't really matter who notices first. You all eventually notice a lone horseman comes up over the horizon about 5 miles to the south. Just a little dot of somebody rides up over the horizon there and stops.
Man.
Just a little speck of a person, but you get the feeling it's a single horseman. And you all see it.
It's in our path.
No, to the south.
Behind us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think that's a scout?
Well out of range from...
From...
I was going to say from, anything that we have.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can shoot a bow at it.
Yeah.
He's miles away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a speck, but you get the feeling it's a lone person on horseback.
And is there any cover in the area?
Nope. Remember your gentle slope going up and up, but you've got
We're on
a little bit of
stage.
undulation, but you're just continuing slightly uphill. And it just...
Is that rider continuing to ride towards us, or
Oh, it stopped.
It takes a little bit, but you realize it stopped at some point after you noticed it. You're not sure exactly when. Because, again, it's so far away. It's just a dot. It's really hard to make out. I'm giving the credit mostly to the elves, their exceptional eyes here. But even you can see it as a dot of somebody. It has definitely stopped. You can't tell if it's camping or, it's just too small to make out any great detail. But you do get the feeling.
I began immediately packing up any stuff I had out, any little projects or food.
What's that?
I immediately began packing up any stuff I had out, food, projects, whatever.
All right. Okay.
I think we have to assume that that's a scout, and now they know where we are. We should probably be moving because they might pick up pace or send out a war party after us.
Agreed.
I agree.
It may be just...
Before we leave, I'm going to leave some caltrops in our path. They're terrible on bare feet, but they're not good for horses either.
No, they're bad news.
Wait, you got cow droppings? I haven't carried that around. That doesn't make any sense.
Tiny, sharp spikes that when you drop them always end point up, so when you step upon them, bad things happen.
Just like cow droppings, so except a little bit more painful. So I guess that kind of works.
Torn takes a look at one.
Well, you'll have to ask him if you can take a look at one. Or wait till he drops them.
Yeah, I hold one out.
All right.
I hand one to him gently.
Is it snowing?
No, it's a clear, cold day.
Darn.
So I don't know if you're familiar with them, man.
Yes.
Okay. They're basically like little jacks that
Yeah.
are all spikes.
Yeah.
So
They're like a four-sided die, but instead
All
of
spikes.
flat surfaces,
yeah,
all
the revenge of the four-sided die, as if the four-sided die itself wasn't painful enough to step on.
even worse than Legos.
Yes, yes, indeed.
They're like
So
giant
how many are you
ghost
going to
orbs.
drop and where?
Let me. I'm looking for the list of how many I actually got.
Mm-hmm.
I got a dozen. Dang, I'm dropping all 12.
Okay.
I'm dropping them in, basically more or less across the middle of the road. Out.
Okay. All right. Makes sense.
Huh.
All
I
right.
mean, I feel bad for the horse, but I can use
Yeah, it'll lame a horse very quickly. It's kind of, with only a dozen of them, it's kind of the luck of the draw there, but it is potential.
It's
All
okay.
right.
They're all CG generated, so all computer.
No
graphics.
actual horses have been hurt in our imaginations.
Can I swing out of cover? Can I dig an ankle breaker?
So just dig a little ditch across the
In a
road.
little ditch, cover it up.
So here's the only thing that Karn sees him do that.
Right?
This is a public road. Traders, travelers.
At
Yes,
this
it's-
time of year.
It's slow this time of year, but it is a main public road.
With an
That
invading
he
army
just- well-
that close.
I understand, but that's just something to keep in mind. It is the king's land still. So whether it does anything is a different story, but it's just something.
Yeah. Don't like it, but he's a hoodlum anyways.
Yeah,
Okay, I won't dig an ankle breaker.
yeah. He's not going to dig up the king's road. Yeah. All right, and then you guys get going. What speed? Back to a trot?
Yeah,
Yeah, horses are ready for that.
we
Yeah.
rested them all
Yep.
morning.
Yep. Okay, great. So you get going on a trot. Shortly after you get going, looking back, the elves can tell better than anybody else. Looks like it. You don't know. Maybe it just took a break at the same time. It's lunchtime. Lots of people take a break around noon. Some do, some don't. But the lone rider seems to have started moving north again. But just it doesn't seem to be catching up. You can't tell. Again, it's too small to make out what speed or anything. But just seems to be maintaining about the same distance. You don't seem to be drawing
With,
away.
Eyes that are normal width apart, we can't tell parallax at miles away.
Over time, you do not seem to be either gaining distance or lessening distance. Do you guys want to do anything?
I would like to listen to River talk about her homeland.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
River, you had the break to prepare, right? He's been warning you for a while.
Yes.
I sit there fingering the one caltrop that he handed me, wondering, it's...
Oh, you didn't drop it on the road?
No.
So there's only 11 on the road then.
Yes.
Okay.
Wondering about the
Scowl.
moral implications of hobbling a horse, even if it is an enemy horse.
Yeah.
So in my country, we do not. You Iridians eat with their hands, and here people eat with forks and spoons and knives. But where I am from, we eat with chopsticks. And she pulls out, she keeps chopsticks with her.
Like ivory.
Her own personal
Yeah.
chopsticks.
Right.
And she shows them to Farhad. And
Has she? Quick, sorry,
Yeah.
Has she actually used them when we were eating, or has she just been
she.
in a rush?
It depends
with
on
the rest of
what we're eating, but we're mostly eating
bread and
Dried
bread
jerky
stuff,
and cheese
but
and
you
bread,
can't
yeah.
Really
Yeah,
eat with
chopstick it, yeah.
chopsticks.
Good point.
I mean,
You had a
you
chance,
can.
the feast at Janera's house, you had the chance, but you
But
went along, right?
Yeah, she went along.
Though it made you uncomfortable.
She was
Yeah.
visibly uncomfortable with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Not the food part.
Just
Yeah.
checking, because we'd eaten enough meals together that it might have come up. you know,
Yeah, there
before
just
now, but
wasn't ever food
yeah.
that
Made
Makes
sense,
sense.
for it. Yep.
sense for it.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so she's talking to Farhad. A little bit of character reveal here.
And
Why, that's amazing. How do you eat with them? Farhad pulls out like two of his knives, and he's like, "Do you like poke at them?"
no, you put both in one hand, and then she holds
Demonstrates.
them and demonstrates and like.
Do you
shows-
catch a fly out of the air? Oh wait, there's no flies. It's too cold.
She just shows how like she picked stuff up.
Witchcraft, burn her! Sorry.
And we also have our own sort of, I guess, tradition. Before we eat, we say itadakimasu, which means thanks for this food. And we hold chopsticks like this in our hands. And then after the food, we say gochiso sama deshita. And which is similar, same, but it's to say after you finish. Be thankful for the food before and after. And you probably have heard her say this before, but it just sounds like Japanese.
And what types of food do you eat? Do you eat roasted goats? Do you eat breads and sauces? Do you have spices? What are the flavors of your homeland?
11 herbs and spices.
11, that's too many. It's impossible.
We eat a lot of rice and fish. There's a lot of seafood in the food that we eat.
Because your country's a long string of islands.
Yeah.
A string of islands. My land is a giant desert waste with tiny pockets of water, like islands, but the opposite.
Except for the capital where, you know, a large river confluence happens
Sure.
into the bay.
But that's like one spot.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I have always lived close to the ocean, so it's strange for me not to be near it.
Yeah. Think of those. It's a couple of rivers that converge, and just basically kind of think of the Nile headwaters and such. Although it goes sideways, not vertically, but
Yeah,
but
I know how rivers work.
yeah. Well, I mean, but as far as the land, that's very similar to the Nile Delta there and stuff. So and the floods.
So fish and rice. We have rice in my homeland. Our rice is long and dry, and it looks a lot like baked grubworms.
We had rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. Standard rice.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's no such thing as standard rice.
Yeah.
The rice we eat,
assume
we call it
Japanese in your sense.
basmati.
Yeah.
Basmati is our rice, and it is long and skinny. And does not stick together. It is it's dry and crumbly.
Tell us how your Uncle Ben used to make it. Sorry, I'm just...
Grumble.
The Ben
grumble.
Yusuf family. They are from the other side of the river. We do not talk to them.
Joe being an improv comic at Jet City in Seattle, it is using the philosophy of yes and.
Which generally should be something to at least consider in role play.
Oh yes, of course. As long as it doesn't contradict something critical in the campaign, I go totally with that. So unless it gets too crazy.
I kind of like it occasionally with a game where you improvise the history of your characters interacting before the story.
Yeah. That's. So, is there anything else you want to share in this little chat as you guys are traveling on the road. This is over a fair amount of time.
I want to talk to her about like the food and can she cook and how do you cook and all those things. I want to get like all that data.
Okay.
I don't know.
Very briefly, just answer those questions.
Else,
so you guys are doing it over.
it.
Yeah, you're doing it over a lengthy conversation. But go ahead and quickly answer those questions, just so that he has that data. Does she cook?
She probably does like cook.
But like a basic level or
She probably has
advanced?
a basic level.
Okay.
Like she has an idea. Like she's read about probably.
She can
things
boil
that
rice.
Actually, do
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So you've mastered onigiri?
I'm so bad at no thanks. I like her River's really smart, but I am just not.
You're smart.
In different ways.
Just you're inventing this stuff. She's just remembering it. It's easy for her.
So River probably has like basic food.
Enough to sort of stay
Just
alive.
like stay alive.
Okay, but nothing fancy.
Nothing really fancy.
Okay.
Like
What else did you want to know?
foods like
Farhad?
rice, fish, sushi.
Yep.
Soups like miso.
Well, she was talking about food, so I'm just going to ask her every food question.
Okay, so today you learn a lot about the food of her culture.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Great.
So, you guys are doing that while you're on the road. Torin, are you doing anything?
Well, not having spent a lot of time, so can you really work with anything in your hands while on horseback, or now you're pretty much focused on not falling off? Or is like small projects, something doable? Probably.
Well, is Torin an experienced rider or not?
No, not really. Walking's more his forte.
So he hasn't ridden much. If he hasn't ridden much, then it takes all your energy to ride.
No, that's what he's mostly doing.
For at least a few days, if not a few weeks. Eventually, you get to the point where you can just do anything. Not talking stunts, but
yeah,
you get to the point where like I used to whittle
No.
while I was on horseback on road trips.
Okay, he'll eventually get to that, but right now I don't think he'd be there.
Okay, all right. And especially since you're also holding.
So,
Yeah, or
since it
have
seems
tied
like
up the-
I'm riding by myself, I'm going to whistle.
Okay.
I'm going to whistle quite loud, not loudly, because there might be people.
Not like, but
Yes,
you're
whistling
whistling
a tune to
with
myself.
gusto.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that getting anybody's nerves, or are you guys cool with him periodically whistling?
I feel like he's done this before, so.
Yeah. So you learn to tune it out.
It's also better than the talking.
Roll your constitution.
Who?
Roll your constitution for whistling.
Saving,
It's fair hot after a while.
saving throw versus breath weapon.
Then I'm fine.
I totally want to do that.
I was kidding. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Saving throw versus breath weapon and see if you get annoyed.
Me too.
That's an unusual use.
No, I'm already annoyed. I don't need
He
to save
starts
for
out, yeah, Karn's just always annoyed, so.
It's like the Hulk. I'm always angry.
River,
I
I
rolled
need
a
dice.
20.
you need dice too? Where's everybody's dice? What the-
I brought mine. He's using them.
They're all on the bus, huh?
And
I did kind of gather them
it's
all up.
really hard when you live in two houses.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, twice the stuff.
Because I've got 3 right here between the bus and the trailer in here.
You've literally tuned it
Okay,
out.
that's good. Saving throw, that's good. Saving throw, you want high. So yeah, you completely. You're so wrapped in your conversation, talking to Farhad, you don't even notice it. Talk.
I rolled a 20 first, so.
So okay, so you engrossed in listening to their conversation
Actually,
over the whistling because you're
actually,
back.
actually, talk is
Talking to the boy.
No, he's being more quiet than
Usual.
usual,
Okay.
and
So,
he's
Yeah.
he's bouncing back and forth between nervously glancing behind him and dreamily gazing off into the middle distance.
Okay, and Moisha.
Moisha is doing what he can to ride forward while watching the guy behind us.
Okay, what did you roll for your save versus breath weapon?
natural 20.
Oh, I didn't.
We're all doing
D20.
this now.
11.
And what is your save versus breath rate? You want to roll above, equal to or above that number.
Save versus...
Upper right-hand
Hang on
corner.
a second. I just need my reading glasses.
Upper right-hand corner. Oh, wait, I have your character, yeah. 17, okay. You are utterly annoyed after a few minutes of Torin's whistling. It's increasingly getting on your nerves and setting your teeth on edge. You had such a wonderful sleep. You were actually having a nice day, and he is just ruining that day for you. You're watching over your shoulder. You feel like the noise is echoing up the canyons of the mountains. You feel like he's just announcing you guys to the entire, plains. It's really
Torin.
setting you on edge. But
What?
you're clear in the back, so you'll have to kind of shout to him or ride up to him.
I'll shout to him.
Okay.
Torin,
Oh, what?
whistle to yourself silently.
Wait, is that like some sort of like dwarf riddle? Because
I
I'm
need
whistling,
to
it's
stop,
not silent. So,
What is the sound of one hand clapping?
oh, I know that one. It's not very loud.
No, it's this.
If you must whistle, whistle silently.
I mean, I could play the flute. I mean, you got a tune you like?
Well, we've got someone following us. Let's not announce ourselves any further.
I feel like they've been following us this whole time, and it doesn't seem like what we ever does ever gets us farther ahead. Like with the magic cats and... Oh yeah, did y'all see any cats last night?
There were no cats.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
Continue on whistling, but slightly quieter, but Moisha can probably still hear it.
Okay, he whistles slightly quieter, but still annoying.
Moisha just sighs and
Okay.
shakes his head.
And dies.
Karn joins you in the sigh of
Wow.
irritation.
A good knight knows when to be silent.
Ooh. That's something Torin cares about.
I was like,
Karn hasn't said anything the whole day, and it's the only thing he says. You hear his gravelly voice behind you.
immediately get quiet. Like, what else does a good night know?
He's not going to growl at him. He does not growl at him.
But does a knight know when to be holy? He knows to be silent. A silent knight, a holy knight.
Okay, so...
Not a paladin.
Yeah.
So what part of your night training is about torturing people? Kidnapping and poisoning them?
You immediately see Janera put her arm on his leg as his jaw clenches once again.
Is that first year knighting? Third year? Is that advanced training? Or is that just something that cowardly knights do when they're too afraid to fight?
Janera pats him on the leg, says something quietly to him, steers her horse over in your direction to catch up with you.
Uh-oh.
So Janera comes riding up alongside. Friend Farhad, is there a reason why you are trying to antagonize Sir Karn?
I know I can't antagonize him. He's a coward who poisons people. He will never ever fight me.
I would not continue to put that to test.
Well, that's entirely up to him. However, your village would not be on fire if we had not wasted a day. Who betrayed you? Someone you knew. Strangers show up, and what do? Well, what do your people do? I took your apology to heart. I did, and yet...
You are
that
finding
is
it
not how you
difficult.
treat people.
Yeah, I understand. You feel it is difficult to forgive. I understand. And it is most unfortunate, and I wish there had been a kinder way to weed out the trouble. If you understood what we have been through these decades since he saved me when I was but a little girl, please try to find it in your heart to understand. He was really
You
only trying to
speak about
protect
your
me.
troubles and your past as though none of us have ever suffered.
Of course not.
As though it is only you.
Of course
And
not.
you know that is not true.
Of course not, I know. But realize he did not do it in any way to be cruel. He was only trying to protect me from very, very insidious forces that are very difficult to find. Please, it is important we learn to work together. If we cannot have harmony among ourselves, then the enemy has already won.
I believe that he is only giving you the illusion of security.
Security, no. But perhaps we can at least become companions and watch each other's back. If you continue to antagonize him, we have a long road ahead of us. It is not going to help us work together as a whole, is it not?
I can keep this up all day.
Excuse me?
The road is long. Nothing will shorten it.
We need to come together if we are to survive what lies ahead of us.
Which is why I use words and not weapons.
You should know that Karn, the reason why... She looks back at him. She lowers her voice. She looks over at River, says, "Come this way, please." She kind of beckons off to the right, to kind of steer your horse away from River. Do you... Yeah, she wants to speak to you privately while riding. You should know...
Hey guys.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Twitch seems to have dropped.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. I think it's on our end.
What?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. There's something going on with the...
Okay, see the CPU went up again, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's been going up anytime Katie talks. But something else is draining the CPU.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be dropping it.
Control shift escape, Daniel.
I have it up already.
It's up on the big screen and on his screen, yeah. That still shouldn't be a high enough percentage to be dropping it.
Yeah, no, it's been...
Usually only drops when it's maxed.
Yeah.
Ethernet looks okay. Scroll down to look at the video card because I can't see the GPU. So just, yeah, bring that down, yeah. GPU's fine. So click on the Ethernet. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, it's been dropping. And it doesn't...
It looks like we're live now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a correlation between the CPU spikes and the GPU... Well, no. That network just dropped again. Big drop. Make sure the cable's in all the way. Let me see what I'm seeing on my end. Darn it, we're right in the middle of important stuff. I'm not showing any dropping packets. Huh.
Twitch dropped on my end as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. It says it's offline.
Yeah, no, I think this is...
Oh, no, it's back up.
Because I'm taking a look at OBS, and anytime it drops, I take a look at over, and we're at red. It's bouncing between green and...
Yeah, I see that.
Red right now, and I don't know what's causing it.
All right, let's do... Could be the cable. Although, weirdly, it's not... Joe hasn't been dropping. Katie hasn't been dropping. So actually, that doesn't make sense. It might just be Twitch. Because, yeah, if Joe and Katie aren't dropping at all, like they're not fading in and out or anything, that's not us then.
Usual,
Yeah, well,
so.
that's why we're using Chrome. Because that didn't have the voice bug. It has the video hardware accelerator bug, but doesn't have all the bugs. But so actually, no, that doesn't make sense. It's not. It's
Choose
not
your
us
insect.
because if it was our network dropping,
Choose
they
your
would be
insect.
dropping.
You want the chrome bugs or the
So
bugs?
I want to be the Hercules beetle.
That's a good one.
well, I'm
You
getting
seen
a
that one where he,
little
like,
bit of
throws another
packet
beetle?
loss,
Just like beetle.
smidge, but no high ping
Shoot
times.
him off the screen.
All right. Well, all we can do is just keep recording, keep going on, and just when it comes, it comes. We're back up for the moment, right? So, all right. Joe, do you go ahead and ride aside to talk in private?
Roger that.
Okay. So she looks back nervously. You should know how it is. I won't go into detail. It is only for him to say, and I'm sure he would be mortified if he knew I was telling you. The reason why I know him is he was sent away from Camelot when he was very young, a young knight, because he was hot-headed. He was sent instead to be a representative and a contact, an emissary with my people, with our people, as a representative of Camelot. This was not done as a reward. He has come a long way, but his control of his temper is, shall we say, less than it should be for a knight of his lineage. And it did get him in trouble in his youth, and is still something he struggles with to this day.
So what I'm hearing is the things I'm saying are too cruel because they are too true.
They certainly strike closer to home than you realize. He has no pleasure at all in the suffering of any, but he also struggles with his own demons.
In that case, I shall take him under my wing, and I shall teach him how to treat a person from here on out.
Do so with kindness, please.
Yes,
He responds very well to kindness, but not to barbs.
Because you have asked me and you have told me a bit of his history, I will do as you ask, and for the harmony of our journey.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would prefer you not bring up much about his past if you can. And, except for what he chooses to share over time.
You have told me nothing I could not have perhaps surmised or felt, so I will keep my opinions to myself.
Thank you.
Regarding his history.
Peace to you.
And peace to you.
Okay, so she
And
slowly...
to all of your people.
Yeah, thank you. She slowly rides back.
No contract for that?
Pats Karn on the leg. He tries to relax a little. He's still on edge.
Todd is exactly correct. There is no contract.
Maybe
All
that's on purpose.
I ride over to River, back where I was, and I lean over and I whisper quietly. She has asked me to become Karn's mentor. He does not know how to treat people, but I shall teach him etiquette.
Oh, I'm sure
I've lost
you will.
this video completely on the monitor. It completely cut out. Yeah. Did you bump a cable? It's on the D port. Anyway, don't worry about it. I'm not using it right now. I'll deal with it later.
I also put the Twitch help up on the screen. It's been hiccuping. That's
Yeah, I
what's
see
going on.
that.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah, so that's not us. That's Twitch having
One
problems.
FPS. 1 FPS.
Yeah, that's all on Twitch's end. So this is where Patreon supporters get the locally recorded video that won't be dropping. It'll just be steady video. the whole time because it's recorded locally. And
Although
that gets
they'll
uploaded to
have a little bit of
Patreon.
us, hey, what's wrong with it?
Right, yeah, they're just fiddling with it, but at least it's a good, solid, audio video instead of cutting in and out.
Patreon.com/
RPG Racer.
Yes! Stimulus response. All right, so, continue on.
Torian keeps as quiet for as long as possible before breaking down, just beginning
Or he's just like,
talking very quietly to Leon.
okay,
And just having someone to talk to.
okay. But Karn is gratified to, just as far as Karn's motivation, he's gratified to see Torn actually make the effort, even though you can tell it's a struggle. You can see like the tension just slowly building in over time.
Trying not to smile. Will not smile.
Yeah, well, but it's not gleeful. It's just he's glad to see that he's trying. So there's hope for the boy after all. So that's just the internal dialogue for you there on that. Okay, so Poppy Smallborough says, "I'm loving the artwork." So
Cool. Yay.
yay! All right.
I think we all are.
Yes, exactly. You
More
travel on the
dragons.
rest of the afternoon. The speck in the back stays about the same distance. When do you guys stop for any short breaks the rest of the day, or do you just keep riding?
That's not Torn's call. Do I keep
I
track
say
of-
we only stop if anybody in particular or the horses seem to need.
Well, you need to give the horses breaks from
Okay.
time to time. That's
Meal
bad for not
times
to.
and pee breaks.
Yep. So, unless you want to ride them harder and keep pushing,
No.
you want to, yeah. That was very quick for Boysha. So
We're finally on a road, so we're making good time.
you are.
Like,
You are. So mid-afternoon, you guys take a short break. And this time it does not look like the rider stops. The rider continues to ride at whatever speed it was riding at. So while you take your short break, gains a little bit, but nothing huge. It's just a short break. Then you continue
have they
on.
gotten to the part where the place we left yet?
Yes.
Have they navigated the caltrops yet? Is what I'm asking.
Yes. You did not see anything happen. And I rolled for that, so.
There's no dead horse, is what you're saying.
Right, or at least no lamed horse, yeah. So very slight gain, not a big one, but a little bit. Rest of the afternoon goes on, it starts getting towards dark. What do you guys do as far as making plans to camp? Are you just going to stop on the side of the road, or do you want to go out and scout ahead for a
Horseman's
place?
still back there?
Still back there, still steadily chugging along.
Hey, Farhad.
Yes.
Uh-oh,
I mean,
just
that
heard
rider's
hard
still
word
back
earlier.
there. Should we do something about it? Like maybe
We
set.
should set camp, and we should set a ambush or a trap.
We just
I'll
lost
look for
camera.
a place to camp.
We're losing cameras. Thank you, Windows.
I haven't fallen asleep, honest. My eyes are closed and I'm not moving.
You've never looked more beautiful, John.
Wow, thank you.
See, that's what's happening. It takes very little with these cables, unfortunately. That's what's doing it.
Moisha, friend, ranger, find us a place to sleep.
I've already been looking. Thank you, though.
You're going to have to exit and enter OBS. Stop it and exit and start the tracker.
Torin,
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Everybody pause for just a moment. Just hold that thought. Hang on to the thought.